Hello! You already save a lot of money every year thanks to our videos, so save on car parts too. Buy them on the Mr. Auto app. Shipping is free.
Turn your engine off. Pull up the handbrake. Pull on the bonnet release lever and open the bonnet. This will allow you to see the battery, which is located to the right of the engine compartment. Remove the battery cover. To do this, lift the plastic tab to free it from the holding studs. Never start by disconnecting the positive terminal with all the cars still connected to the minus terminal. This risks creating dangerous sparks in the electric network of your car. Using a socket wrench and a 10mm socket, release the holding nut on the negative terminal. Once it has been unscrewed enough, remove the terminal and make sure you move the cable far enough away so that there won't be any untimely reconnections which could damage the electrical network in your car. Using a socket wrench and a 10mm socket, unfix the holding nut that fixes the positive terminal. Then, release and remove the holding nut on the two power cables located on the top of the terminal. Once completed, remove the two power cables. So you don't lose the spur, screw them lightly back into position. Finally, remove the positive terminal and put it to one side so that it doesn't get in the way when removing the battery. With a socket wrench, a long extender and a 30mm socket, remove the nut that holds the fastening plate of the battery. Do not try to remove it, leave it in place. You can now remove the battery, then remove the fastening plate. Sand the inside of the terminals with sandpaper to remove the layers of white oxidation and to avoid breakdowns in the long term. Put the battery back into its compartment. Putting the battery in place can be a little tricky, so you need to stay focused. Rest assured, we have just the tip to make it that little bit easier. Take a piece of paper towel and fold it in fours. Lay it flat on the socket, then insert the head of the nut, forcing it into the socket. Magic! It holds all by itself. By only using the extension, you will be able to screw the holding plate back in place. Delicately push it back in by lightly pressing on the battery to correctly position it. As usual, start by hand, and for the final turns to tighten the screws, insert a wrench into the extension, block it and remove the paper towel. Start by putting the positive terminal back in place. Push it in as far as possible. Then tighten it using a socket wrench and a 10mm socket. Then put the negative terminal back in. Before fixing it in place with a socket wrench. Remove the nut so you can reinsert the two power cables on the top of the positive terminal. Finally, screw the nut back in and tighten it with a socket wrench. Put the cover of the battery support back on by tilting it so that the spurs slip in, then fully clip the cover in by lowering it. Operation completed.